Today we are going to be working on this Coyote DK6010 SE. I bought this thing last year. It's got 450 hours on it already, and I have a third function hydraulic kit for the front end loader. You might be able to see that right there. Okay, so that's for the grapple if you want to open and close it, or for the 7-foot snowplow I have to turn it side to side. But this was installed brand new from the dealership. This was something they said, oh, we want to go with WR long instead of the original Coyote equipment because we like the way it attaches better or something like that, they said. I don't know if that's true or not. But down here, I have this thing mounted, and I had to weld this bracket on. Sorry about my dogs. They're making some noise in the background. But I have this welded on, I fabbed this up and mounted this third function kit here because the original dealership, they mounted it down to the subframe right here on the backhoe with some kind of clamp just sideways. And they must thought I never was going to take that subframe off. This is the backhoe subframe here. It's for all Coyote models. They're like that. But they must thought I never was going to take it off because they mounted it to it. And then, you know, I'm taking it off because I cut hay with this tractor as well, and I need the ground clearance. So I fabbed that up. But the other day, this thing stopped working. The tractor is just over a year old now, and the snowplow was only going one direction. So I started looking at this solenoid block, and this is the block. Hopefully the lighting is okay enough to where you can see it. And I'll show you the new one that I got. But this appears to be the reason why. So if you have one of these WR long third function hydraulic kits and it's not working, it's only going one way, chances are the problem is what my problem is here. So let me show you what's going on. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, from what the person from WR long said when I talked to them on the phone, was that I can just pull one of these and then the whole thing will come apart. There's two Phillips here, and then you just take one of these off, I guess. It slides off. We'll see what happens. But he said I do not have to remove both. And he also said one way to test this was to actually swap out the valves and switch the thing around. And if it went the other way, then it meant that that side was bad. Now, I don't know exactly how these come apart, so bear with me here while I figure it out. It appears as though I just have to put a flathead screwdriver in there and pry it off. All right, well, there it is. So this thing just slides right in. You can see those two pins. Okay, those two pins just slide into that block. And part of the big problem with this is it does not appear to be watertight or anything close to watertight or anything even close to water resistant. In fact, it's like the worst possible design, in my opinion, that you could have for water retention. But we'll get to that here in a second. Okay, I'm just removing this last Phillips head screw here, and then from what the guy said is that this thing will just slide off. So we will see how easy that actually is. Two screws are removed. Okay, here's the outer cover. There it is, right there. Okay, so it slid off, and as you see, it just came apart. Now, here's the problem with this thing, is that is soaking wet inside. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's full of mud and it's soaking wet. And this thing here appears to have some corrosion on it. Obviously it's soaking wet, and obviously that's the reason it's not working. Okay, so my question is, how could somebody design something like that that is not watertight whatsoever when it's going on a tractor, of all things? A tractor that gets power washed, a tractor that goes through mud, a tractor that gets sat out in the weather, in the elements. How can you design something that allows water to go right in? Let me show you that design a little more up front here with the new one. Apologies for the poor lighting, but we're getting straight to the point with this video. So here's the new one. This was $75 in 2024 pricing. Okay, WR long, there's that. And here is the whole little actuator deal. So it's like a three-piece setup. You have a back plate, you got your front plate, and then you have the chip inside. So there's the chip right there. Okay, this thing just sits on top, and then this back plate just sits on the bottom. So it literally sits right there like that. Let's see, there it goes. Okay, now the bottom one sits there. No water resistant, no O-ring, no nothing. Just sits together. Okay, just like that. And then from there, the solenoid valves slide in. So, like so, boom. Hopefully everybody can see that. Just like that, okay? No water resistant capabilities whatsoever. So we're gonna do what they should have done originally, which at the very minimum is gonna be RTV silicone the heck out of this thing. So that way no water gets in. I mean, look at that, even right there where the screws go in, you can see the computer chip. How is that even permissible? Like something that goes on a tractor that's outside in the elements that is gonna get washed. This is not something that's indoors. So horrible design flaw, but we're gonna get it taken care of, and hopefully this never happens again. And hopefully it doesn't happen to you, but if it does, now you know the solution. So the first thing I'm gonna do is silicone the whole back of this thing, and I don't really care about the aesthetics of how it looks. So we're gonna be liberal in our application of this RTV silicone. This is just some black stuff from Harbor Freight. Not giving them a plug, just saying that's where I got it. Not that it matters. So we're gonna do a liberal coating on the back, and then around the sides of this connector where it goes in, we're gonna do a little bit there, a little bit here. And again, we are not going for aesthetics with this one. We are going for functionality. It's going underneath the tractor. Okay, so that's the bottom, and I did that side first because when I apply it, it's gonna go right up on that. So we want that to be nice and nice and snug. And then these pins here, Gator quit. Sorry about my dog. Okay, so we're gonna slide this on, and then we're gonna apply a ton of RTV all the way around this. I almost think I should apply some right to the back side right here first. Okay, so we have it applied. Next thing is going to be to install these screws, the Phillips heads. But before we do that, because we can see the computer chip, we're going to put a little RTV silicone in that thing. So hopefully it doesn't leak. You know, I just can't imagine that I'm the first person that has thought of this. You would have thought a team of engineers designing a part for sale to the public would have thought of something like this. Something being water resistant, and why you would need it to be waterproof / water resistant. But hey, I guess maybe some people are behind the times or didn't get the memo that we use our tractors, but we're gonna get that all buttoned up. Okay, there's obviously a reason this thing is the first thing on their WR Long store for sale. Third function hydraulic little computer chip kit. But yeah, I mean, other than this, you know, the valve has worked fine. When it works fine. And up until this, I've had it for a year, and you know, everything's been a-okay. You plug it in and it's worked up until now. But I still am blown away with the fact that I'm having to do this. Something as simple as waterproofing a computer chip. You can hopefully all see that. I'm probably blocking a little bit of the lighting. But look at that. You see all the corrosion on the back of the board already. The problem is this kit comes with the bundles of wire, 2 of them. So I have to technically like splice them back in and splice them together and trace them out. So that's not going to be fun, but we got to get it back up and going because we're looking to get 8 to 12 inches of snow tomorrow morning, and I got to have this thing ready to roll. Just a little dab will do ya. Of course, I got a little zip tie holding me up here. Let's see if I can get this out of the way. Uh-oh. Where's that go? Looks like it goes right there. Okay, plastic. We got to be easy on this. Okay, that's all I'm doing. From there, a little bit of silicone. Okay, now I got to get the bottom side. Okay, so if we trace these existing wires out, here's the new ones here. The old ones, one goes up through here, up right there. So I know it's hard to see. Goes up there all the way to the front of the tractor to the battery. And it's just a positive wire. Here's the new one. This is just a positive wire. One wire by itself that goes to the positive terminal, and it must pick up the ground from the actual solenoid block, which good thing I have it bolted to the cab, which is grounded. The other wire is a 3-wire deal going to the switch, and I'm guessing that's a polarity reversing switch. It goes right up from there. This is the way the dealership routed it, up through to the joystick, up through to the top, and then here's your toggle right there. So it looks like I have to take the joystick apart to get that wire up there and back into the switch. All right, so I have my wiring routed. Maybe you can see it, but it goes underneath from out the solenoid block, then up right here, then over, and then up right to there, to the joystick, up through to here. Now, this whole thing is part of the WR Long third function kit. The original grip is like a T-handle deal from Coyote, and I'm actually glad it's this style because this feels way more comfortable on your hand. But that switch is just right here. It's just a little polarity reversing switch. So you can see the original wiring here. I cut it off, got my little crimps on for my new one, and I'm just going to splice that right in. And it looks like blue goes on top, so that'll be first. So blue, yellow, green. Blue, yellow, green. There's blue. Oh, pushing the bucket down. All right, I got to do this with 2 hands. There is the final product, ready for a fresh capping with the other side of this cap right here. This is 2 Phillips head screws on the top and 1 Allen head bolt on the bottom. Just screws right on. Freshly capped and ready to go. The only thing I have left is the positive 12-volt wire up to the front. So I'm going to connect that now. All right, so I just got over here to the ranch, and as you can see, I have my 7-foot snowplow on the front. Again, Coyote DK 6010, 58 horsepower hydrostat. And this thing works awesome for it. The plow, I'm not a big fan of personally though. Not the plow itself, the manufacturer. It's a Polar Bear plow. And maybe if I zoom in here, that center pivot where this whole thing pivots, it's just a bolt. It's just holes drilled in a bolt. I don't know if all of them are like that, but I just figured that was kind of sloppy. Also, this paint job that they did on all of this orange steel looks like crap. It's got run marks everywhere. It's transparent. Just doesn't look good. But the thing does work good. It's got a nice rubber strip on the front, and we'll see how time, as time goes on. But that's why I needed that third function part of it. And it is working again. So it was that computer chip deal with the polarity reversing inputs. Everything with the switch was fine. But yeah, so that's it. Again, this is the WR long grip that they give you. The original Coyote one's kind of like this T-handle thing, and I really didn't like it. I was like almost not going to buy the tractor because of it, but I figured maybe I'd get used to it. Really glad that it was upfitted with this, but we'll see if that design gets changed on the updated third function kits. Hopefully this helps you out. I have to unhook this snowplow and put the bale spear on, go out and feed some hay, and then come back, put this thing right back on. Hopefully this helps you out. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching.